Dear listeners, if you feel lost with English, its grammar or vocabulary, I'm here to help you. The After-Class Report is a collection of recordings that will explain to you the most important aspects of the language. All episodes are content-related. The inspiration comes from you, from our class. With the After-Class Report, you will get answers to all the questions you want to ask. Idioms in English are an important subject, and this subject is as important as any other in the grammar part, in the vocabulary part. Many people think that it is only the tenses that are so important, and when you think about your knowledge of the language, you will always present the knowledge about the tenses. But tenses is just one little thing about the language that you have to know. Idioms are another great thing that you have to understand. And with this recording, I'm coming to help you, I hope. I'm coming to assist you a little bit in understanding how they work. I have prepared a little presentation about the way they are formed and how to understand them, and also a little list of other idioms with the definition, sentence examples. So something that you will possibly remember, because you know the idea. It is easier for the brain to remember something if you have the association. So if you have these pairs of words, a sequence of expressions, so that the brain has something to relate to. But let us start from the very beginning, as always. And the very beginning is that idioms reflect the history of the nation, and they also reflect the culture of the nation. You will never study any language, be it English, French, Spanish, Polish, if you don't want to study at least a little bit the history and the culture of the nation. Why? Well, because the language is for people. I repeat that oftentimes. So it is a very, very practical tool. And it is for the people who are living in some certain area. And these people have been created. They have their own roots. They have their own history. And this language helps to reflect what has happened to the nation, what has happened to these people. Idioms in English are very visibly different from idioms in Polish, in the sense that I would refer to them as they are mostly connected with water or weather. And weather is also water, because there is a lot of rain. Why water? Well, because Britain, it is an island, and the countries that are there, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland, all these places, they are located on an island, and this country is surrounded by water. And because of this, the idioms that are there also reflect this state of affairs. When it comes to Polish, I observe it very often that you know some expressions in Polish, then you want to translate them into English, and you do it at a push, so to say. So you visibly want to keep what you have in Polish and you want to translate it into English, and that will never happen, because idioms, especially with these idiomatic expressions, idioms are such a part of the language which reflects what is hidden, what is underneath, what is lost between the translation, in between the translation, so to say. So studying idioms is studying the history of the language and studying the culture of the language. I started talking about these idioms in Polish, and I told you that they are visibly different from idioms in English, because what we have in Polish, it is very much rooted in agriculture, because this is, on the other hand, our history. We have been an agricultural country, and that's why when talking about different situations, proverbs, words of wisdom, so something that our grandmothers used to say, I'm sure everybody knows such expressions when something happens and there is this little saying about it. So these idioms very often are somehow connected to agriculture, to farmers, to the ground, to carts, to horses, because this is us. And once you understand this difference, you will know that the sheer translation never exists. Now, coming back to idioms in English, because this is what we want to study here. And I will start with these idioms connected with water, just to show you, just to prove to you that they are indeed connected with the sailors, with sailing. And then we will move to this list of expressions that are there. I would say they are rather random, actually. But I hope that once you listen to this recording a couple of times, you will be ready to remember these expressions with definitions and sentence examples. But coming back to the watery idioms. The first one is that two people are in the same boat. So the Polish equivalent of it would be that people are sitting in or on the same cart with a horse. So this difference here is very visible. If you are with somebody else, with people are in the same boat, it means that they are in the same situation. They are experiencing very often the same problems, the same difficulties. And because of the fact that they are in the same boat, they will understand each other much better. Another idiom is one of my favorite, actually, and this is the idiom that you can hear in one of Adele's songs. I have a feeling that this is also the title of the song. I'm not sure here, but I am pretty sure and pretty certain that this idiom is definitely in the lyrics of the song. She is singing about this love between two people, and what she says is that our love ain't water under the bridge. The ain't thing that happens here, of course, is this informal element of English, but of course at the same time used on a regular basis. Ain't would be this negation to any other form that there is. Here, of course, it stands for isn't, like, so our love isn't water under the bridge. And when something is water under the bridge, it means that it is already gone and forgotten. This idiom is really specific, special, and that's why I like it so much, because it does describe the exact thing. So if we think about it, and it's very poetic in my way of thinking, because if there is this water that keeps flowing and it just goes under this bridge, it goes and it never comes back. So when something is water under the bridge, it means that something happened, usually something unpleasant, or it leaves this unpleasant feeling, right? That we lost some opportunity, perhaps, that something was true, but now it isn't true anymore. And the water keeps going, so it just flows and it is no longer with us. For those of you who like to eat, and I am one of them, there is the idiom connected with food, and it goes like that something can make your mouth water. It happens to me on many occasions when I see something that is very tasty, some lovely food, and when we look at it, and this is this Pavlov syndrome even, we want to eat it, right? And we feel that that our mouth is full of water, in a sense, that it is ready to eat. So this delicious food can make your mouth water. I wonder what kind of things make your mouth water. Is it the sweet thing that would make your mouth water, or more like some vegetables or fruits or desserts? Again, possibly something sweet, or maybe quite on the other hand, like quite the opposite. That would be something like fish or meat or whatever that there is. But definitely we all have these things that make our mouth water. For those of you who like financial expressions, money-related expressions, it is spend money like water. And if you spend money like water, of course, you spend money and you don't think about the consequences. So you would spend this money and just be happy with the possessions, all the possessions that you got for it, but you don't think very logically about it, yes? For some people, of course, it is not any trouble because they are that disgustingly rich, and that's another expression that I love. I wouldn't say it is an idiomatic expression, but this is a phrase, yes? Disgustingly rich. So those of you who are disgustingly rich, they can spend money like water with no consequence. Those who are not, perhaps they shouldn't be doing this, but because the consequence may come. But this situation or the other situation, it doesn't matter. It is always the same. Like you spend money like water, so you feel you can spend it and you don't think about it twice, so to say. If you like something, you buy it. The other two idioms that are here in this group of these water idioms or weather idioms, I call them weather idioms also because they are indeed connected with the weather and the rain. It is take a rain check, and take a rain check would mean that you can do something later, and the roots of the idiom are in previous centuries even, because it was about all these sporting events that were organized outside, possibly football, because it is this national game for England. And there was this sporting event that was organized outside. But of course, when you held some event outdoors, it sometimes can be ruined because of the weather. And there was this rule, this idea that if you couldn't come to a meeting because of the weather, so because of the rain, you could come later and still use the same ticket. So take a rain check means that you can do the same thing later on. The last thing is to be under the weather. Told you that weather is also a very popular subject in any conversations in English and also in any idiomatic expressions. So if you are under the weather, it means that you are a little bit off color. There we go. It's a lovely thing to explain one idiom with another idiom. So if you are off color or under the weather, it means that you're not feeling very well. You can be a little bit depressed, or you can be a little bit sick. You are not in the best shape, not 100% yourself. It happens to all of us. Sometimes we just have these bad days and we are under the weather. I will just repeat all the idioms that I have introduced just now. The idioms connected with weather and water, and that would be in the same boat, take a rain check, be under the weather, water under the bridge, something makes your or my mouth water, and spend money like water. And here I would like to move to a couple of other expressions. This time I told you they are not going to be connected with any particular meaning or any particular idea. They are just the idioms that are nice, that I used, and I hope you will remember them. I'll start with something very easy. Practice makes perfect. I think everybody understands that. So practice makes perfect just means that if you practice a lot, if you try hard, you will simply be successful. And there is this idea, this philosophy in business, in life possibly, that talent is one thing, like just a little thing when we think about success of the people. But what really makes us successful, truly successful, it is hard work. And so here this idiom just tells us exactly the same. Practice makes perfect. We can start at a lower level, but if we work hard, if we practice a lot, we will be successful. The ball is in your court. This idiom is connected directly with playing tennis, because tennis is played on a court. And if you just hit the ball and it is over there in the other part of the court, it means that this is the other player who has to decide what he or she will do with that. So if the ball is in your court, that means that you are the one to decide. You are the one who will take the next step, who will make the decision, and then you, as the other person in this relation, you will have to respond what the other person does. Bite your tongue. I think that here we have exactly the same expression in Polish. In Polish, it is a little bit slightly different because we've got this preposition there. So I have heard that expression presented by students of English with a mistake. So mind you, please remember there shouldn't be any preposition. It should just go like that. Bite your own tongue. And of course, we shall bite our own tongues if we don't want to say something, if we don't want to say too much, or what is even worse, when we have said something too much and then we think like we shouldn't have said it. So when you just describe the following situation and you say like, you should have bitten your own tongue. It means that you have said too much and you shouldn't have said what you actually did. But to use the expression that we presented at the very beginning of this recording, it is water under the bridge, right? What shall we do, right? So you have said something and it's there. So now you have to just do something to perhaps apologize or do something just to rectify the situation. Go the extra mile. If you go the extra mile, you simply try very hard for somebody, or in any given situation, you try in order to rectify the situation. I will repeat the expression used just a while ago. If you rectify the situation, it means that you improve the situation. It can be used in a variety of contexts. So if you have like trouble in a relationship and you have to go the extra mile in order to improve it, to make it better, to satisfy your partner. Sometimes we have to go the extra mile when it comes to our children, upbringing of them. We have to go the extra mile when we are at work, and we have to try very hard in order to be promoted. So as you see, it can be used in a variety of contexts. Put all your eggs in one basket. This is more, I would say, agricultural a little bit, because it is about food. If you put all your eggs in one basket, it means that you do not consider any other possible solutions to a situation, that you are ready to risk, that you don't want to put your eggs in any other basket, so to say, but you will just put them in one. But of course, it is a very risky situation, because if you do it, it could mean that if you make a mistake, you will lose all of them. Yeah, because if you have a few baskets and you put just a few eggs in all of them, even if you make a mistake, you will just lose a few of them. But if you are very brave, you can put all your eggs in one basket, risk a lot, but also at the same time, you can win a lot. So again, it all depends on the situation. It all depends on how you see the reality and the situation you are in. Be over the moon. Be over the moon. I'm thinking very quickly about this Polish equivalent. I think, I think we've got something similar. If you are over the moon, it just means that you are incredibly happy. So you are so high that you actually can travel to the moon and back. A very lovely, very nice idiom, because it just denotes that there is this positive thing happening in our lives, and we can be over the moon at the birth of our children. We can be over the moon when we are successful, when we get promoted. We can be over the moon when something good happens to people that we love, to members of our family, to our children. So anything that is just good, great, and it brings smile and happiness to us, it can be described, this feeling can be described as we are over the moon. Another idiom is a truly interesting one, because we've got a similar idiomatic expression, but still used in a little bit different form, because somebody can be the apple of somebody's eye. And if you are the apple of somebody's eye, it means that you are the center of their attention. That usually happens for grandchildren. Grandchildren are the apple of their grandparents' eyes or eye. I really particularly enjoy the expression apple, that somehow this eye becomes this apple. In Polish, we've got a slightly different expression, but still kind of similar. So I think that anyone would find it easy to understand what that means. But in English, I think it is more precise, that actually this eye somehow becomes this apple. This is how I read it. And the last idiomatic expression that is there for you to revise is be on the fence about. If you are on the fence about something, it means that you find it hard to decide what to do. And as I told you at the beginning, when you have this background, when you have this root behind this idiomatic expression, it is easier for you to remember that. And here I would like to present the root of it to you once again, because if you are on the fence, yeah, so fence is this border between two places, countries, even houses. And if you are on the fence, you can either take either of the two steps. So you can either jump and get inside, or you can jump back and still come back to where you came from. So that's why we can understand it as hesitating, because exactly this is what it means. If you are on the fence, it means that you are hesitating about something, about some given situation. Once again, I will repeat these idiomatic expressions for you to make it easier to memorize. Practice makes perfect. The ball is in your court. Bite your tongue. Go the extra mile. Put all your eggs in one basket. Be over the moon. The apple of somebody's eye. Be the apple of somebody's eye, and be on the fence about. I hope with this short recording and the short presentation of different idioms, their roots, their definitions, sentence examples or situation examples where you can use them, it is easier for you now to follow them, to learn them. And if you haven't memorized all of them at once, you can always listen again and take your notes or record your own ideas. That's also a very lovely thing. So please start recording yourselves with some English expressions. Please enjoy. If you enjoy what you have listened to, please like the episode. You are invited to listen to my other podcast called World of English, in which I'm telling different stories so that you can relax and learn the language.